Today we are going to be talking about the benefits of hydropower and the downside of nuclear energy. First, how does hydropower work? Hydropower is created through dams. The dams will raise the water level, creating a drop for the water. The drop of the water allows for the force of the fall to turn the turbine, which will then start the generator and create energy. The energy created is then dispersed throughout via the transmission lines. There are numerous benefits of hydropower. One benefit of hydropower is it has a high energy output. This means that energy from the dam can be created and dispersed very quickly and efficiently, so the dam can go from no energy to maximum capacity in a very short amount of time. Another benefit of hydropower is it is a completely clean and renewable source of energy. Hydropower will always be available because water is a renewable resource. It also doesn't contribute to greenhouse gas emissions because it doesn't release any pollution during the production of energy. Another benefit of hydropower is it is a tourist attraction. For example, the Hoover Dam in Nevada is a major tourist attraction in the United States. Approximately 7 million people visit the Hoover Dam every year, making it the most visited dam in the world, which can bring in a lot of revenue and contribute to the economy. Another very important benefit is that the energy created is domestic, meaning you don't need to import energy from another source. As a result of this, the dam will help your own economy and will create jobs in the process. 52% of the USA's renewable energy is from hydropower. Also, 17% of the world's energy is produced from hydropower. So many countries in the world are relying on hydropower as a clean and pollutant-free source of energy. Hydropower is a heavily relied on type of energy due to the effectiveness and benefits that go along with it.
There are a few downsides of hydropower energy, but the pros vastly outweigh the cons. Building a dam can be very expensive. However, over time, the profits will greatly outweigh the initial cost of the construction of the dam because of how it can actually save money in the long run. The hydropower system could produce all the energy that a country needs. That country will not have to get any other source of energy, and it is domestic, like Aiden previously said. Although there could be a drought, there would still be a massive amount of water that still resonates in the rivers and dams. A drought would only affect places that already have little to no water, and dams probably wouldn't be built there. The drought would affect the land, but a river would still be flowing with water, so it could have a dam built in it. During the process of constructing a dam, the government needs a lot of land in order to create it. Instead of building the system near houses where people would need to move, they can build these dams farther away from the people. This would ensure that the civilians would still be able to live in their houses.
How is nuclear energy created? Nuclear energy is created by the splitting of uranium or plutonium atoms within rods. The uranium or plutonium rods sit in big metal containers of water, and as they heat up, the uranium or plutonium splits into the water. As the water is heating up, it sends the heated up water to a pressurizer, and then the steam generator, where the energy from the water is turned into steam to extract the energy. That is how the energy or power is created through steam with uranium or plutonium. There is also a cooling system in place if the generator starts to overheat. There's a cool water going into the metal container that has the uranium rods, but there are also control rods that can be lowered in between the uranium or plutonium rods to slow down the reaction process. Control rods are made out of boron, silver, indium, and candium that are capable of absorbing a lot of neutrons without causing fission themselves. Nuclear energy is, however, a bad source of energy. One con of nuclear energy is the cost of creating a nuclear power plant. The cost to run a nuclear power plant is on the rise, which means the funds will have to come out of a different sector of the budget that is more important. It is being more of a reliability to keep running in terms of economic standpoint. Another issue with nuclear energy is that it produces too much waste. Some nuclear waste is not being properly disposed of, and this will lead to devastating effects on the surrounding environment. It definitely poses a threat to human life. With the number of nuclear power plants growing, especially in highly populated areas, this could lead to a higher risk of an accident in those heavily populated areas. On top of that, nuclear energy is not reliable. The United States have become more dependent on uranium supply from different foreign countries. If the use of nuclear energy becomes more relevant, then the demand will become higher, and so could our economic problems. Nuclear power plants require a lot of water to operate, and with areas with water shortages is a major problem. This will lead to issues and conflicts surrounding the places of topic and how to fix water shortages in these areas. Finally, creating plants will take away from other programs. The cost of nuclear energy will not get cheaper. So this will continue to have an effect on the economy and budget of spending of government. These projects are taking a massive amount of money from the national budget, which is causing a lot of concerns from the public because they do not know where their money is being taken out of.
Other downsides to nuclear energy plants are accidents or safety concerns, the ever-maturing technology, the massive amount of uranium or plutonium imports, and the unpredictability of it. When you think of nuclear plants, do you think of security and the utmost safety, or do you think of accidents like Chernobyl? Nuclear plants pose a huge risk to the public and the wildlife in the area that they're in, because when a nuclear power plant goes critical or is having an issue where a spill or accident happens, it will immediately affect the wildlife around the area. Nuclear waste takes years and years to decompose until it's considered safe to live in that area again. An example of this is Chernobyl. Chernobyl is considered by most as the worst nuclear disaster in history, and it occurred in 1986. Chernobyl is still uninhabitable today because of the concentration of nuclear waste that is still present there. Think about a disaster like Chernobyl again, happening today. Imagine the damage that will cause by a single disaster in a more populated area like Boston, New York. Imagine how many lives were lost. In Chernobyl, 31 people died because of this one disaster. 31 lives that shouldn't have been lost due to an insignificant source of energy, nuclear energy. Even though one of these disasters haven't happened recently, is it really worth risking people's lives for some energy that could be produced in a safer alternative way, like power by hydroelectric power? And nuclear energy is an ever-maturing technology where there are advancements every day, but those advancements the most cost-efficient for countries. As nuclear energy makes advancements every day to be a somewhat maybe better source of energy, as the cost goes up and up and up. This is taking a drastic toll on the economy for countries that are, even ones that are developed. Replacing 1/3 of reactive core is going to cost $40 million. It only creates about 1,000 megawatts of energy. When we have an alternative energy source like hydroelectric power that will produce 40 million kilowatts of energy each year. This technology will develop, but why develop nuclear energy when you have a sufficient energy source in hydroelectric power today that crushes the production of nuclear energy? Well, it might be hard to believe that countries just don't have reserves of uranium and plutonium hanging around and waiting to be used. It costs nearly $20.75 per pound of uranium. That does seem like a lot of money, but it's the highest it's been since March 2016, and the price will only go up. Uranium will not get any cheaper, neither will plutonium. So why waste so much money on replenishing nuclear power supply? Might as well have a renewable energy source like hydroelectric power where you won't have to worry about running out of water. The last downside we will talk about is unpredictability of nuclear power plants. This is a very reactive and unpredictable energy source. Nuclear plants had to put in safety regulations and stats because of how dangerous and unpredictable the process of creating energy can be. The risk of nuclear plants is unfathomable. When you think about what you're using, a radioactive material to make energy, when you can use a safer alternative like hydroelectric power to create energy in a safer way, where it is proven to be safe and predictable without any necessary safety regulations put in the system. Nuclear energy is a very dangerous and unpredictable energy source, which makes a huge risk to society today. Is it really worth putting lives at risk to make enough energy for just a small town?